What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my South Florida football preview for 2016. So talking about a team last year that went 8-5 overall, 6-2 in conference, good first, second in the American Athletic Conference East Division. So to start with the first of my three key players, and I'm going to start at the quarterback spot with Quintin Flowers. So the junior quarterback had a very big 2015 season, big part of South Florida's turnaround, and just put up some pretty spectacular stats. 3,287 total yards, 34 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards rushing by himself. And that comes with that little combination in the backfield that I'm going to get to right now. Marlin Mack, one of the more underrated running backs in the country, obviously, probably because he's non-Power 5, but I think this guy should be almost at the level of like a Larry Rose, Donnell Pumphrey, Jeremy McNichols, those type of players. So Marlin Mack just has put up some monster stats since he's been in college. 2,400 career rushing yards, 17 career touchdowns, and could possibly be an All-American this year. Behind him, Darius Tice, another very good running back coming into his senior year. They've got a very, very good 1-2 punch of a running back. So my third key player, moving over to the defensive side of the ball with Astrick Nichols. There are about 3 players I could have picked for maybe 4 as key players for this defense. Astrick Nichols, in my opinion, the best player along this defense. Nigel Harris, Augie Sanchez, both very good players as well. Another player to watch out for, opposite Astrick Nichols, Ronnie Hoggins at cornerback, the sophomore. Nichols, a guy that was first team all-conference last year, moving into his junior year, I could see this dude. I mean, he's supposed to be like a, this year next, he's supposed to be like a second or third round pick. So, great talent at cornerback. So my first X factor is the offensive line. I haven't really talked about this too much yet, or actually at all. They lose 3 starters on the offensive line, and they will most likely be replaced by some combination of Clavion Nelson, Jeremy Hall, and maybe Riley Gibbons. I am not 100% sure on that. So maybe Michael Galati. Again, not too familiar with the South Florida offensive line, but those look like the next guys up on the depth chart. So they will be filling an important role blocking for Quintin Flowers, Marlin Mack, Darius Tice, Dearness Johnson. Moving to my second X factor, and it is the 1-2 punch of Marlin Mack and Quintin Flowers. One of the best 1-2 punches outside of the Power 5, even inside the Power, like even just in all of college football. This South Florida team has a lot of talent, and if Mack and Flowers can live up to what they did last year down the stretch, and for actually both, or just for Mack, just what he's done throughout his entire career, then this could be a very special season for USF. So my trap game for USF is Syracuse. I actually did my Syracuse preview before this, but I do believe that South Florida will be favored heading into that game. South Florida has to travel to the Carrier Dome, and it comes in between 2 very important out-of-conference games, one against Northern Illinois, which will not be easy, and then against Florida State. Obviously, that one will not be easy either. Overlooking Syracuse could be a mistake. This is still a decent ACC team with a good quarterback in Eric Dungy, so something that they still have to pay attention to. So my biggest game for South Florida is Temple. This is the team that won the American Athletic Conference East Division last year. It's a team that returns P.J. Walker at quarterback, so they still have a lot of the threats they had last year. And again, I say this in every video when I say the biggest game for a team that's challenging for a conference title. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best in your division. So, again, the one after that is also very important against Navy, another team that will be contending for a American Athletic Conference title, or at least division title. So, my record prediction for South Florida, I say they're going to go 11-3. I think this is a team that's going to win the American Athletic Conference East Division this year, probably end up losing to, in my mind, probably Houston in the American Athletic Conference Championship. I do still think Houston is the best team in this conference. But I think this, like I said, could be a very special season for South Florida. They've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. I think they're going to get through the regular season with only 2 losses. Probably both out, or I'd say probably both out of conference. Maybe one in conference. They do still have a decently tough schedule in conference. Have to go to Memphis, play Navy, and then at Temple, at Cincinnati. And then Florida State almost guarantees to be a loss in my mind. So that pretty much does it for my South Florida Bulls preview for 2016. I'll be coming back later today with my BC preview to round up the night. That's pretty much it. See ya.